Guys, we must be careful. Yeah, one of all of these countries that are glorified by the media, be very, very vigilant of those ones. Yabona manje, if anyone says to you, Habibi, come to Dubai, darling, baleka ngenyoso. So in Sudan, the government has launched a case against the UAE, AICJ, similar to the case that South Africa launched a case and won it against Israel and everything they were doing to the Palestinians. So for context, I've made a video before last year about the forgotten war of Sudan and everything that is happening there. Sudan has been funded by a number of countries that have personal interests in their minerals, like everywhere else in Africa. UAE in particular has been one of the biggest funders, and then Bashangapa Nangapa. Currently, Sudan has two leaders, and they have been co-governing. So it's one leader from the RSF and one leader from the SAF, which were military leaders in Sudan. It's a long, long story. But just for the context of this video alone and not to make it long, both of them then, because each one of them wants to be the main guy, so both of them went to other countries for help or assistance with military stuff, with aid, with, obviously when you have money, you have influence. They all went to Russia, China, Turkey, UAE, America, EU, African Union, Dibala Wantolina. And what they are now doing to both of these leaders, especially the Mina for me, the UAE, is that they are pumping to this one and giving them arms to fight with each other while they attain all the minerals and they get their way within the Sudan region. But for an example, Chad is next door to Sudan. Far over here is the region where most of the gold deposits, yeah, mines and deposits are of Sudan. So Emirates, ithathe ingene ibeke next to the base a hospital. Now they say the hospital is for aid, medically and food, to transport it to Sudan, Namasolja Wakhona, to get assistance and the women and children. But a lot of reports have reported that it's just a cover up. And what they are doing or have been doing and still doing is that they also transport military weapons to Sudan, and which contributes towards the continuous genocide and unaliving of a lot of women, children, and people of Sudan. Now, you ask the question, would say, Chad, why doesn't it close their doors? Why? Chad took 1.5 billion USD worth of a loan from the UAE. So they're on their payroll now. African leaders. And may we never have convenient amnesia that allegedly the UAE attempted to influence South Africa not to lay charges against Israel for the genocide in Palestine. Hmm? So we can now see, Owuti, they are sounding and looking like they're very much capable of doing what they are being accused of doing, because how can you defend Umuntu who is breaking the rules and the laws, international laws, humanitarian laws, and you silence the other country by pushing Imali towards them? This comes as no surprise that most of the smuggled gold that comes from Africa lands up in the UAE. And for me, this is motivation enough. This is all alleged, but a lot of investigations have been done. A lot of reports have been done by trusted individuals and organizations. Nothing has been done until now. I'm glad that Sudan is standing up for itself and their human rights and their resources, because this is exhausting. This is exhausting. It's time for every one of us to stand up. It's time for everyone, each and every country, to say no. And we also can't forget that UAE also has an airport Nyana, or a landing strip in the Eastern Cape of South Africa. Over and beyond the gold, EUAE claims that they had invested resources abo imali yabo solely because of the fact that they were depending on Sudan for agriculture, so vegetation. But we all know that it's more than that because in Sudan, whoever controls Sudan will be controlling a large portion of the Red Sea as well. The reason for the Palestinians being displaced or attempted displacement and genocide is because Israel wants a cut of the Red Sea. It's a very, very, very big and monetary position for any country to have or anyone to have a control of that. Similarly to the Panama Canal as well. Jengobi America right now wants to take over the Panama Canal as well. Shipments go through that. So there's money, it's economics. There are numerous reports on how EUAE is trying to push Imali towards Africa. And we know that everyone who is pushing Imali towards Africa has one thing and one thing in common is to take over and loot from Africa.